Hello, hi. How are you? I come back again with you guys to talk about balaaak. Last time we saw Balak and Balaam were trying to curse the Israelites. I wanted to stress one point that evil forces are very closely equal to the godly forces. They look like very beautiful, very good, and they come with a lot of tangible evidences that they can place it in so that we can believe. So the evil forces are so powerful, so strong that anyone could believe and anyone could fall very easily. That's what the Bible says in the last days, that evil will come and sit and proclaim him as a Jesus Christ. So what I'm trying to establish here is Balaam and Balak, when they knew about that Israelites are coming down, or they sent a note that they're going to cross over the Moabite. First of all, Balak was not the real Moabite king. He was a Midianite, but somehow he get into the kingship, and he was prophesied by Balaam that he would be the king, future king of the Moab. So some lot happened, something somehow, some group gathered, so he becomes the king of Moab. But basically he was a Midianite. So when these Jewish people, after entering, like after the 40 years of war, and they roamed around the desert for 40 years. After that, they were crossing the Jordan, entering into the Israel, and crossing all these Escalon and Og, all these countries in Emoria, all these countries. The word was spread, and Moabites came to know that the Jewish people are going to cross their land. So they were so terrified. Can you imagine a group of people walking into their land? The kings, those who were so giant in nature, so strong in nature, and so powerful army, they were scared of these Jewish people because they're afraid that God was with them. These people are dealt with God. So they don't want to fight with these people because the armies cannot fight with they cannot win with the armies. They cannot win with the forces. They cannot win Jewish people with the weapons. So that was a problem. So these people are so terrified, they don't know what they will do. And Balak was trying to research how we can get these people, defeated. So he is trying to research. That's how the Satan does. Satan will research us. Satan will go behind us and then try to find all our weaknesses, from where we come, what is our root, so in which way we can be defeated easily. So that is how Satan will plan. So Balak, he went and studied the whole thing. He knew that the tribe of Isaac, Jacob and Esau. Jacob was the person with a voice, meaning that the tribe of Jacob was the Jewish people were dependent upon the voice, meaning the praises, meaning the prayers. Their victory was in prayers and praising God and voicing for God. That's where their victory they had with their voices. So on the other hand, Esau was a mighty man, was with the weapons and all the other things. But for Jacob, it was totally different. Or the Jacob descendants were totally different. So Balak knew this one. Balak was a very, he was a mighty wise king, and he knew this one, that he could not able to win these Jewish people with the armed forces. So he goes behind Balaam, one who prophesied for him to become a king. So Balaam was brought in. Balaam was absolutely, I told you already, Balaam was such a knowledgeable person. He was all equal to Moses. He was much more better prophet than any of the prophets in the Old Testament Bible. He knew everything in the Word. He knew top to bottom. He was a mighty, mighty person, so powerful person. I said as equal to Moses. So Balak approaches Balaam so that Balaam can curse the nation. Here Balaam, a rich guy, a rich person, and he tries to get in. And see, the Satan is attacking the same forces that what the Jewish people were in strong, of, they're in the, which was the power. So they only listen, they only voice, they only pray, they only pray. So Balak want to use the Balaam the same way as I told in the previous messages. So now, can you believe in one thing, that those days when Jewish people were going, the land was afraid, the kings were afraid. Is there anything happening today? Or the Christians, when they walk out or when they go into any nations, or the nations are terrified, or the nations' kings were afraid, or what's happening there? Because we obviously knew that it's not happening, because we proved ourselves several times in several ways that God is not with us, because our churches are like this nowadays. So sad to know. Our groups are like this nowadays. So sad to know. When we are in separate in ourselves, how can we establish a kingdom? So it's easy for the enemy to attack the modern day Christianity. Is nothing for him to attack. But those days, when the Jewish people were going inside any country, the whole country was terrified, because they knew these people were people of God. These people were led by God's forces. So we need to get those type of things in our life. We need to bring those type of Jewish power, Jewish the methods in our life, so that we can be very close to God. That's what I want to try to tell you. So this Balak and Balaam, they talked to each other. Then Balaam was so happy to go, and because he's an anti-Jewish guy, Balak was an anti-Jewish guy, so he wanted to go ahead and try to do the curses. But God talked to Balaam only if he is going to bless, only if he is going to listen what he says, then he would allow him to go. So when Balaam was going by himself, it was a motivation for himself. See, it was same like Abraham moved from his nation when he heard the word of God, a voice of God, to go to Canaan, leaving. So that the power, or the love, or the energy, or the passion made him to move. So the same power, same motion, same energy was in Balaam, and he was going to go against the Jewish people. See, the evil force has the same power, same energy that God's children can do. So Balaam goes out, taking his own donkey by himself, and he was riding on his own donkey, and we know that he was blocked by 3 times by the angels. I mean, the donkey talked. I wouldn't be riding a donkey which talks. I would be scared to death. I will run away from the place. I mean, imagine, suppose you are having a dog or some animal, suddenly it started talking. You will fly away. You will not be staying there for a minute. So that's what, I don't know how Balaam stayed, and he was counterfeiting donkey. So the 3 times the donkey pushes him to corner of the road and the walls, but still he is not realizing it. Sometimes we also go through the same thing. We may be we may be given some hints, some obstacles, some kind of notifications always be given, but we don't recognize that. We just move on, because when you have the evil thing in you, when evil thing comes in you, nothing stops you. You proceed, you go, because you don't listen, because you are shutting down to any other world voices or anything. Your focus is only to do the your purpose, what you're supposed to, what you are supposed to finish your actions, or what your outcome, or what is your destination, or what is that you're planning to do for. That's what you're going to do. You're going to block everything outside of your mind. That's what Balaam did. Because he was filled with the evil thoughts. He was fully, totally, completely corrupted. He didn't listen any of donkey's message or the angel's message. Nothing was listened. So Balaam went in then, but instead of, we know the story, instead of cursing, God made him to bless this one. See, these people, they know very well how to attack the Jewish nation. They know very well that, even though God sometimes He forgives them, He doesn't see certain smaller mistakes on them, but these people wanted to point out those things. So if you read in the Bible, after sometimes you can see they had a lot of plans. Satan had a lot of plans, bringing some prostitutes, mixing up with the Jewish people so that they can involve in that one and catching them in their sins. These type of things always happened in the Jewish community all the time when they walked all the way through in Israel land. So you can see they had a lot of plans. Satan had a lot of plans, bringing some prostitutes, mixing up with the Jewish people so that they can involve in that one and catching them in their sins. These type of things always happened in the Jewish community all the time when they walked all the way through in Israel land. So Satan always plans on all those stuff. Balaam knew this one, that he could easily throw this one to them, and he can easily attack by bringing their weaknesses, by getting their weaknesses. But God, what He did, without His knowledge, without His permission, nobody can touch the Jewish people. Nobody can touch the Jewish nation. That's what God's love over towards the Jewish nation is. So what I'm trying to say is here, folks, Satan is so powerful. Evil is so powerful. Nowadays, what he does is, probably you might be hearing a message which will be so soothing for you, which is so mesmerizing for you. There are a lot of out there people, they want to bind you in a place. They want to bind you in a position. They want to bind you in certain situations that you will not focus on something else, so that you will not listen the right thing, right path, right way to go. You will listen to them. But it looks like that they will exactly figure you the way. It is much more better messages than any other God's people out there. So there are tons and tons out there, diverting people's concentration. That's what I saw this time when I went. There are a lot of people, as I said last time itself, only there is compassion ministry, there is only comfortable counseling ministry, there is only a blessing ministry, a prosperity ministry. That's the kept on. This is where it's going. Kept on. People after people, they all come and talk about peace to you, for brother. We will pray for the peace for this one. We will pray for peace for this. Once you become God's children, the Bible says that, Jesus tells them very clearly, if you want to follow, deny everything, take up my cross and follow me. So you will deny that once you become, God never wanted you to be like a saint. He said that, okay, I will make you a saint of mine. You will be saint all through the way. No, He said that I will make you fisher of men. I will make you, the disciple of, I will make you as a disciple. So He is expecting us to do the discipleship. He is expecting us to follow Him. Right? He doesn't want us to be just sitting down and hearing everything, right, one to the top, the same thing. So today, most of us are sitting down and hearing all the gospel messages, all the, peace messages, or all the comfortable, we need to get out there. We need to, you already are inside the game. Before you are entering in the game, that's fine. You want to have some peace, because people without Jesus, people are without peace. Without Jesus, people are without love. Without Jesus, people are without, you know, comfort. Or without Jesus, people are with unrestful conditions. So when you are having Jesus, when you accept Jesus, there is peace, there is love, there is obedience, there is so many things